Hello everybody and welcome to Notorious Yugioh. I'm Notorious Cly, and this is our Tenyi update, plus some replays. All of you can see the deck list on screen right now, and I'm sure some of you may have noticed that there's a few changes from the last video. There were really three big changes that I made. First was adding in Compulse. Main reason for that is I wanted something a little more impactful for off-turn interruption. I don't have IDP, which is the most impactful, and I like Compulse more than Crackdown. Next up is Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi. I was wrong. This card is cracked. I will say it one more time and then don't get used to it. You'll never hear me admit this again. I was wrong. This is definitely a card you should be playing. My initial hesitation with Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi was that it's kind of win-more-ish and doesn't really help secure your end board when going first to give you that ever so valuable crackback turn. And yeah, that's the part I was wrong about. This card does in fact help secure your turn 1 end board by turning your non-effect monsters into towers-ish monsters, at least for monster effects. Don't get me wrong, Pot of Greed is also pretty nice. Your opponent is almost guaranteed to special summon an effect monster. Yeah, this card is crazy, and a lot of my winning turn 1 boards have involved just making a big Berserker, Flawless Perfection, get to the next turn, I keep the non-effect monster on board, I'm good with the graveyard effects of Tenyis, I get some top decks, hopefully I get a draw 2 from Flawless Perfection and just obliterate my opponent. Okay, one more time for all of you. I was wrong. Flawless Perfection is good. Consider playing it, especially because it's searchable off of Heavenly Dragon Circle if you haven't activated the Tribute to Summon effect that turn. The third and final change is I added a second copy of Shaman of the Tenyi. It came up like 3 duels in a row where I needed the second Shaman to either get a monk and then use Shaman's pop effect, or I just needed an accessible link to so I could keep climbing. And yeah, I didn't have it. So after the third time it came up, made the change, swapped that out for Draco Masters, and I haven't missed Draco Masters yet. Currently sitting at Legend 5. I have a 1 win streak, so I need 4 more wins to get the King of Games, and hopefully I can do that soon. I'm thinking I might try to do that tonight and do a live duel video for it, so we get the best of both worlds. We get replays and live duels. Speaking of replays, let's go check some out, because there's one replay in particular that prompted me to want to come record this video. And Mechlord, if you're out there, this one's for you. We are going against Yugioh, and we all know what they're going to be playing. It's Raging Pendulum, and they get to go first, which is fine. And our opening hand is interesting. Double Adhara is not really something I'm excited to see, especially going second. I would really love to see a route to a Synchro 8, or at least a route to a Synchro 8 that doesn't involve Burning Circle, so that way I can maintain Circle to dodge some targeted effects. But we'll see what kind of board they make and then see what we can do to crack it. Okay, we're just gonna kind of breeze through this because they're doing their Raging Pendulum thing, and in the middle of doing their Raging Pendulum thing, they sussed it out. They figured out we were on Tenyi, and they made Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller does not shut down Tenyi, because you can get the bonus effect of all your Tenyis from the hand if you control a non-effect monster. But one of the main advantages of Tenyis is that you get to put your Tenyi on board, turn it into a monk or a non-effect monster or whatever, goes to the graveyard, and then you get the bonus effect. So you get a body and bonus effect. Abyss Dweller locks you out of getting the body because you got to use the effect of the Tenyi from hand. So it's essentially cutting your resources in half. Abyss Dweller doesn't hard counter. If your opponent just goes Abyss Dweller pass, you'll still probably kill him. But if they can do Abyss Dweller plus something, you might be in trouble. Let's see what else our opponent can do. Okay, that's another 4. That's a little terrifying, especially because it's Skull Acrobat. They make Roach. Not sure why they made Roach here. Maybe they just needed to clear up space so they could make Clearing. And this is the end board. The reason why I'm not quite sure why they made Roach is because Roach won't stop any of the high-level Tenyis from summoning themselves from the hand. Roach only works against inherent summons, or summons that do not start a chain. You can tell all of the Tenyis start a chain because they have a colon in the first part of the effect. If you control no effects monsters, colon means this effect activates, you can special summon this card from your hand. So Roach will work against something like a Synchro Summon. That's a summon that does not start a chain. So maybe they just needed to clear up bodies. Maybe they're doing it because they know I might have a little bit of a synchro package in the deck and they want to keep me off of Boxia if they can. But either way, side note, I haven't played in a couple months, so I haven't kept up with Raging Pendulum. This is absurd. They have 6 bodies worth of material on board. 2 XZs, which is 2 material, and then a synchro, which is 2 material, plus scales. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 cards, plus Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon and face up extra. So that's like 8.5 cards. And they started with a 4-card hand. Holy fucking card advantage. Alright, let's see what we can do about this. Okay, they're gonna Dweller. Yep, before we start anything. Okay, we're gonna go Adhara, make Monk, and fortunately for us, we have Vishuddha for our top deck. That's a good one. We're gonna use Vishuddha, and we're gonna bounce the Roach. I wanted to bounce Roach because Roach is bigger attack value, and I can't target Clearwing because it would be an effect that targets exactly 1 level fire high or monster, and it would be negated. So we're just gonna bounce the higher attack, and then see if we can play from there. So fortunately for us, that second Adhara is gonna come into play. We're going to use Adhara effect from hand since we control a non-effect monster to recycle back to Vishuddha. And then Vishuddha gets to go ahead and special summon itself because we haven't used that effect yet. And we're going to go ahead and normal the Mapura. And then we're going to go Heavenly Dragon Circle, tribute off the Monk so we can special summon the Shatana. And now we're going to make Shaman of the Tenyi. And I went with Shatana off of there instead of something like Boxia because Boxia would be a level 5 or higher monster that's activating effect and would be shut down by Clearwing. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to crack the entire board, and I'm also pretty sure that if I can't crack the entire board, I'm not going to be able to OTK, so I want to put as much protection in Graveyard as possible. So Mapura protects our non-effect monsters from activated effects, and Shatana punishes our opponent for destroying it by battle or card effect. Shatana will bring back, and then non-target pop a monster on their field. Sorry. A lot going on here, and I'm trying to talk fast. And then we get the Circle in the Graveyard for next turn. You can only use one of the effects of Circle, and we use the one to Tribute and Summon. So, we make Shaman. We're going to go ahead and use Vishuddha and Shaman to go to Berserker. And 3 effects give us 3k life points, so hopefully stick around. And I feel like this was a skill test right here. Not to pat myself on the back, but they had Clearwing and Abyss Dweller. One of those looks more threatening on the surface than the other. You know, the big Synchro Dragon with the negates attached to it. But the other one is significantly more threatening to us and what we're trying to do. We needed to get rid of Abyss Dweller, so Shatana and Mapura and Graveyard are alive to help us protect our Berserker, because that's all we got. We got Shatana, Mapura, Berserker, 7,000 life points in a dream. Let's see what they can do on the crackback. Okay, they're going to bring back Noble. They set 1, early set, summon the Odd Eyes, realize that they have nothing, because they have 2 7s, they can go into Giddy Up XZs, the Vorfengis, yeah, I pronounced that correctly, to target and pop, both of which we have protection against. So somehow we outed a board of Roach, Dweller, and Clearwing. Damn, I love Tenyi. Damn, I love going second with Tenyi. This deck is so much fun to play. This is a board that my favorite deck of all time, Resonators, wouldn't stand a chance of breaking unless we luck sacked our way into a lot of non-engine or some very high impact non-engine. Tenyi is so cracked. Love this deck. One of the most enjoyable decks I've had the pleasure of playing in Duel Links. Alright, let's go for another replay. Next up is Esther, Destiny Heroes. I always love that Duel Links gives you a little bit of insight on what your opponent might be playing. It adds an extra layer of like metagaming and strategy to the equation. And just a heads up for this one, this hand is cracked. Getting Shatana right off the rip to make Monk to turn on our special summon of Ashuna so we can normal summon Adhara if we want to is crazy. And then we got Circle. And let's check the deck list. This was, in fact, the Flawless Perfection build. So let's see what kind of board we can build. So we're going to Shatana, Monk, Ashuna, normal Adhara. Go ahead and synchro off for Berserker. Ashuna, summon Mapura, Adhara. Go ahead and recycle the Ashuna. Go for Shaman, Shaman pitch Circle. Go ahead and bring back the Monk. Circle, banish, grab Flawless Perfection. Go ahead and make Berserker. And get our cracked field spell, Flawless Perfections. Oh yeah, and if that was enough, 3 effects for 7,000 life points. I love 3 effects. This is one of the best skills It's so generically useful, which is one of the good things I like about it. I kind of think that's how skills should be. Stuff like tie that binds, but like maybe make tie that binds a little bit, or beat down, make those skills a little bit better so they're like 3 effects, because 3 effects is crazy. Also, love starting the duel with 7,000 life points. Reminds me of the old Resonator days when you'd start with 6,100 life points and it would let you stick around a lot longer than you should. And this is the best combo setup that Tenyi can absolutely produce. You have Flawless Perfection, making Berserker immune to your opponent's monster effects. Also, Pot of Greed. Crazy. Draco Berserker, being there big and intimidating, and has a banish when your opponent goes ahead and activates the effect. Doesn't negate the effect, but it will punish them for activating the effect. It comes up from time to time. Side note, there are some instances in which Draco Berserker will make your opponent's effects resolve without effect, and that's if they have like an and if they do clause for it. It's like summon this monster, and if you do this. But that's probably for another video. And then let's check out the graveyard. Shithana and Mapura both set up. Crazy. So not only is Berserker protected by Flawless, it's also protected by Mapura from something like a set count pulse or even a mind control. And then we have Shithana to punish them for trying to get rid of the Berserker if they manage to crash. And then, oh yeah, Ashuna in the hand for follow-up. Crazy. Let's see what our opponent can do. Okay, book. Yep, okay, so that deals with the Draco Berserker. That's fine. Destiny draw, get some more. Go ahead and Rhoda for Drill Dark. What do they put in the grave with D-Draw? Oh, Mally. Yeah, that's a good one to send off. D-Draw, Mally, get Mally. Flawless Perfection, give us the draw 2. They're going to go ahead and use Drill Dark, get another body on, go Wonder Driver. Mind Control. Have you read Mapura? Polly. Sunrise. Grab Miracle. Miracle Fusion. Go ahead and make a second Sunrise. Okay, and they might have an out here, but not really a good one. This was a mistake on their part. They went Sunrise attack into Berserker, Sunrise pop Berserker. They should have gone Sunrise into Draco Berserker, Sunrise pop Flawless Perfection, and then they can go other Sunrise into Berserker, other Sunrise pop Berserker. But even then, they do that. We've got the Shithana in graveyard. Shithana will bring back our Draco Berserker. We'll non-target pop one of their Sunrises. And yeah, we've got enough gas on the crackback to get them. We have Ashuna and a head start with Berserker on the field, plus Book of Moon to address the monster. So they're going to go ahead and mess it up. They're going to clear up the Draco Berserker. And we top deck Ashuna. Okay, get that back row out of here. Ashuna, go ahead and make Monk. Turn on our Ashuna. Ashuna, go ahead and get it Hara. Go ahead and do Shaman, Pitch. I'm sorry, Hara, recycle the Mapura, just get targeting protection back in rotation. And then Shaman, Pitch, Mapura to get Mapura in graveyard, because it's free. It's going to do the same thing for us in hand or in graveyard. And we were going to revive the Draco Berserker, because it's a monster you can definitely use. But Shaman, because you can activate the effect of Tenyi monsters. It's a Tenyi monster. Love the added synergy with Draco Berserker. Don't know if my opponent played it the best, but honestly I don't think there's much of anything they could have done with the full setup. There's so many layers that they had to get through, and the goal of us isn't to shut our opponent down on turn 1. If we can, it's really nice. The goal is just to survive, because we're at whirlwind on the crackback. Alright, let's go ahead and go for another duel. Hey, I know that guy. It's weird not being the one playing against Jack Atlas and using Resonators. We're going second, which is a bit of a scary proposition, because we know they're going to get to Red Rain. The deck is designed to do exactly that, as long as you build your deck correctly. So they're going to dump Archfiend Eccentric, Sprinter, Crimson, Red Rising, target Crimson, bring back Crimson, Crimson special 2, they're going to special Red and add Synchron, Red, gain life points, make Scarlight, shuffle back one of the Resonators, and a Wild Wind in hand, and set Red Rain. What else they got? Nothing. Okay, our turn. And we top deck Cosmic. Don't know if I should have tried to play into the Red Rain and bait them and save the Cosmic, because we do have the Book of Moon. But we're going to go ahead and Red Rain. They're going to go ahead and activate Red Rain. We baited them, we'll book them, we'll get rid of the Scarlight, and then make the Synchron unaffected, which is fine, because we have a ton of ways to deal with a 100 defense point monster. Going to go ahead and special at Hara, Link for Monk, Vessel, send Ashuna, add Shithana. And Shithana effect, go ahead, circle, grab another Adhara, summon, Ashuna, Vishuda, go ahead and make Draco Berserker, and Adhara, recycle the Ashuna. 3 effects, gain some life points, and I probably made 2 mistakes here. This was a little earlier into Legend. You can see I'm not on Flawless Perfection in this replay. So this is early into Legend, right before I figured out I needed to run Compulse and run Flawless Perfection. So still a little new with the deck, so there's probably a line to lethal that I just missed. But that's okay, I felt pretty good about it. We ended up clearing their board. Resonators don't really follow up that great, and we have Draco Berserker to go ahead and banish an activated monster effect, which, you know, forces them to have an extender. Other misplay, I shouldn't have crashed into the Synchron, because they're going to Synchron, grab back Crimson, and if I leave Synchron on the board, even if they have Crimson in hand, they are forced to normal summon the Crimson. And something that you guys couldn't see here because it's a replay is during my turn, when I was using the effects of my Tenyi in Graveyard, they had an activation window prompt, which means to me they have Skullmeister. They're running Skullmeister. It's an activated effect in Graveyard, and they had nothing on field, so it's got to be Skullmeister. So I know they have the level 4 non-tuner. So having Synchron left on the field means they have to normal summon Crimson if they want to make a Synchro play, which means I put them on better have the special summon extender. So slight misplay from my end. I should know better. But I was looking at 6,100 life points. I'm looking at Draco Berserker plus Shathana in Graveyard against a deck that struggles to follow up, struggles to extend with limited cards in hand, and primarily has destruction-based removal. So I felt pretty good about it. I risked it for the biscuit. Okay, so Crimson, they're going to get the free special. There's a Skullmeister. I can read. Red Rising, go ahead and target Crimson, and Draco Berserker. We're going to put them on better have the extender, and they use their normal, they have the extender, they're going to go ahead and bring back Red Rising. At least they don't get the extra body, so they're going to go red, gain some life points, go Tyrant, and oh no, my friend, have you read Shathana? Pop, bring back the Monk, we've got Ashuna in hand, we've got Circle in Graveyard, we drew a Vishuda, we've got 3 names plus a non-effect monster on board, at Horror in Graveyard, bring back the non-destruction, the Destruction Protection, Shaman, Pitch, bring back Draco Berserker, go ahead, make Berserker the Tenyi, and then Ashuna, go ahead and summon out Vishuda from deck to give us just enough for lethal. Crazy. Another testament to how good Tenyi is. You can make misplays, you can make mistakes, and the deck is good enough to give you leeway. One of the things I really appreciate about Tenyi is the skill expression that deck has. It's not very hard to learn. I mean, you just have a bunch of bodies that special summon themselves from hand, and can use bonus effects if you have a non-effect monster. Really easy to pick up on, really intuitive to use. The thing I really appreciate about Tenyi's skill expression is it's a challenge of sequencing. The order in which you use every piece and attempt to get all the right pieces in the right place is very rewarding when you do it right, and when you do it wrong, you always feel empowered to go and try and figure it out. You don't feel like you are punished too much for it because the cards are very forgiving. You're still going to have probably enough names in rotation or enough protection in play to give you another chance to go ahead and string that combo together to win. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for this replay video. Don't worry, I've got a ton more in the tank, and hopefully I'll have a few more duel videos. There will be no shortage of Tenyi here. Not sure on what I want to play for the KC Cup yet. It might be Tenyi, but I think it might be good for me to mix it up and play a few different decks. There's the Garbage Lord version of Resonators floating around that I'm really interested in trying, and that might be my pick, just because, you know, it's kind of the deck I'm known for. Plus, it's a new version I haven't quite figured out yet. Should be an enjoyable experience. Either way, I hope to see you there. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the video if you like the Tenyi replay. Do you want more replays? Do you want more live duels? Do you want anything else? Look forward to hearing from all of you. I'll see you on the next one. Be safe, have fun, everybody.